Greetings, collective. Welcome back. I pray that you all are doing well and this message finds you in good health and spirit. We're going to look at some energies together. I haven't pulled any cards yet, and I may or may not have an idea of what the topic is. There are some things that came to mind this week, so we may go that direction. However, I'm just going to let it flow as it needs to flow while I have the time and space to do so. Okay, it's I think almost 6 in the AM. We are in the new moon energy of Cancer, and so I can attest that there has been a lot of resurfacing of emotional ties, bodies, energies coming up to be purged. For me personally, this new moon in Cancer has been very kind, very gracious, and so I'm grateful for that. But I do see within my immediate circle and experience that there are others who are experiencing some turbulence with these resurfacing. And so I don't know if that's where you're at. I'm not quite sure if that's the direction of the message, but we're going to look at it. There's some things that I mentioned that came through this week, just in my journaling or self-reflection, that really put a different spin to how I saw things relating to the new moon and the perspective of the shifting and the changing as we are experiencing life in general. So the understanding is, yes, opening up to something new, a new idea, a new way of being, a new way of seeing things. That was the theme that came through. And it's almost as if, with the new moon, yes, as a babe, a newborn, this is the space of being very open, very honest. And it's almost a space of something forming. So you don't quite see the full picture, but there is a spark of energy or light that's coming through. And if we move or lean into that, then it will grow and it will fully manifest during the cycling of the moon, where we have the phases where it's fuller or pregnant, however you want to call it, and then the release, right? Or the materialization of this idea, this new perspective, this new way of being. So yes, Uranus came through already just through the shuffling, and Saturn. Now Uranus is an energy that I'm understanding it to be, it assists us with change. Okay, change can be very difficult. A lot of people are probably tired of hearing the word change, so maybe we should say transformation, if that will help you digest it a little better. So the new moon does prep us for an upcoming change or transformation if we allow it to take shape, right? So it's coming from a space of being formless and now taking shape through the subconscious. Many of us may not be fully aware until the manifestation of that new perspective, that new thought, that new idea. So the new moon energy in Cancer is definitely shifting something about perhaps how we relate, right? How we relate to things that are very close to us or things that we hold close to us. Maybe it's shifting us from being so clingy or being so attached to the material, or maybe it's helping us to shape the things that are most important, the things that we ought to value more. Maybe it's helping us to expand our horizon, just let's say our trajectory on what we envision for our family, for ourselves, things of that nature. So we'll see if this correlates or if we have a completely different message that wants to come through. But I thought I'd share that with you all since it was a new insight for me personally. Okay, divine guys, I do thank you for the opportunity to just be a vessel of light for the collective, to bring forth what is needed in this season at this time, in love, with divine truth guiding me, always for the greater good and harm to none. And so mote it be. Okay, wonderful. So we have the transit, and clearly we're seeing there's a situation going. It's a cycling, but this is more so, I would read it as the evolution or the evolving of something, right? Where there's a situation that's coming into our lives and it may create some turbulence. Again, the turbulence is just how we perceive the situation or the interaction or the change, perhaps. But this is like someone that is allowing a situation to transform them. This is someone that is not fighting, right? It's not resisting. This is someone that is willing to go with the flow. This is someone that is allowing nature or the universe or source to mold and shape and to create what needs to be created or developed. So I'm looking at this as we are developing in this transit something new, okay, with this new moon in Cancer. So something new is being developed. I mentioned the newborn, right? The newborn is like a very pure in its thought process, very pure in its intentions. There's nothing that has been, let's say, corrupted, right, in the newborn. It hasn't even learned basic things yet, and I said I saw Saturn. So Saturn, we understand, is the parental force that actually instructs, teaches, and it brings wisdom, right, through life lessons. And so the new moon could be teaching us a new or different way to embrace or to move through these life lessons that we experience on a day-to-day basis. We have South Node, which does give me the idea that this is stemming from perhaps some past experiences that maybe we need to revisit or we need to re-examine. We need to look at and perhaps reshape how we approached the situations or what we thought of it or how we viewed it. We have two synchronistic numbers coming out from jump: 555 right here, and then 33. Excuse me, did I say 555? You may be seeing 555, but it's 55, 55, and then 33. The double, all right? So the doubling of something, doubling down. And this, I'm getting like force, like doubling down on something, like the reinforcing of something, or even the review or revisiting of something that is perhaps quite significant in your transit or in your development, okay, from the past, okay? Again, we're going back to the past. So I'm seeing this person, okay, so this person being very still, okay, very still in how things are moving. So if things are happening around your life, the encouragement perhaps right now is to maintain the attitude of stillness, right, and allow whatever needs to come in to come in and whatever needs to leave. So this is an orbiting, right? So something could be orbiting your energy at this time, okay, and it may be creating a bit of maybe apprehension or uncertainty, possibly, or it's the sense of something that is unknown yet. It's not quite formed, but something is forming, right, with the new moon energy. So Leaving the void and coming into the realization of something new could be what we're looking at this time. So maybe someone was in a space of like emptiness, or it was dark, or the uncertainty, or the unknown, or the subconscious. Okay, however you want to read that. The other card that came out, we have number 28, and then we have, this is Chiron. Okay, it does say heal right here, and it's the images of two snakes. Is it two? Yeah, there's a black and white snake in here wrapped around like a scepter with this is, I'm hearing obulus. I don't know what the heck an obulus is, but this is looking like a ball, like you know how you can tell fortune or divinate with some type of crystal. And so I don't know if you use crystals, if you're encouraged to use crystals, and actually there's two of them. There's one on the top, and I never really noticed there's one on the bottom. So something is more obvious than the other, okay? Is what I'm getting. And I'm seeing also thorns on this, right? Thorns, that's the discomfort, right? Thorns, right? So the situation could be requiring healing from the past. So healing something from the past. And remember I talked about emotions resurfacing, and so this is something that perhaps that's bringing a sense of discomfort, perhaps for some people. So happening now could be like a repeat that's happening now, and perhaps it's happening now or resurfacing now for you to either acknowledge, for you to be aware, for you to bring healing into some space. I'm hearing avenue of your mind, body, or soul. Okay, all right. So that's the layup. Wonderful. Hope you're still following, and feel free to chime in if this resonates. Let me know how this is significant. The color blue could be important to someone here. Blue does speak about the throat chakra, the voice, the communication, the relaying of information, or the receiving of messages. Let's see. All right, conjunct. Conjunct came out, or conjunction alliance number 51. There's the other 5 that we mentioned earlier. So there's some type of movement first, right? I'm seeing movement, some type of shift with the numbers 51, which goes to 6 in numerology. Something that perhaps you're moving away from, right? You're moving from this space where you perhaps were bound by something from the past, or where the situations from the past kept you in this, you know, this orbiting. It kept you cycling. It kept you here. It was almost feeling a bit engulfed, okay? I want to say entrapped, but not quite. So maybe engulfed. It's more so energetic. It's not necessarily like tangible experiences, but it's a sense of feeling something around you, or not feeling as though you are free to do certain things. I'll get one more from this card deck, and then we'll shift the card deck. So I have about 5 pulled out today that we're gonna perhaps look at. So past energy, Chiron, heal, the healer, the snakes could be significant. Black and white could be significant. Black and white, those are like duality, right? Black and white. Okay, so perhaps that's what's healing. You know, everything is not black and white. Everything is not all or none. There's usually a gray or in between that we fail to see or realize in a situation, or even within ourselves. And so it's bringing more awareness to just perhaps how we are approaching situations, how we see things. That could be healing. That could be where we're getting the alliance from, where it's now going to be working together. You could be coming into alliance or into some type of collaborative energy with another person. Something is definitely healing. It's relating to the past, the atmosphere, the temperature, the temperament, also the situation, okay, the the environment, all of the above. Okay, so take it for what it signifies for you. And the next card we have is 11th house. We have community. Okay, I did mention environment, and so, or situation. I mentioned collaboration or collaborative energy, right, or collaborative effort. So this may require multiple individuals. This could be just your community. 11th house, that's Aquarius, and I'm hearing my voice box get a bit froggy for some reason. I want to put this card down, so let me move these over. So 11th house, I'll show it to you again. Black and white, there's the black and white, okay? Or beige and black, whatever you want to call it. But the point is, and there's actually a third. I didn't see the third hand. So I say collaborative effort. There's one, there's the one in the center, and then there's one over here. So there are three energies here, three individuals or three aspects of something that is finally, let's say, working together, coming together, better together, fixing, repairing, or collaborating. Okay, this is just requiring multiple people. Again, community could talk about the Three of Cups energy. It's definitely involving not just the one, not just the id, not just the I, it's not just the self, it's involving others. That's the gist of this with the Pisces energy, right? There's a sensitize. So Pisces energy, number 12, goes to 3. So again, we're talking about some type of growth or expansion or some type of effort or work that requires the assistance of others. This could talk about assistance also, someone coming in to help support. So this could talk about support, so supportive energies, things of that nature, okay? All right, let's get some clarifiers here. Let's drill down a little further. 17 could be a number that is significant to you. We have teachability, number 28. 28 already came out here with the snake, okay? So I'll put it right by the snake. I didn't really specify as what I wanted to clarify yet, so I'm going to just follow my intuitive nudge right here. Feathers, bones, and hollow. It says hollow bone teachability, so someone may need some assistance with healing something, okay? With teachability, it seems as though this may have been difficult, right? Where there's something that was lacking, right? Just looking at hollow bones. Hollow, think about it, it's almost empty. It's a sense of like not enough. It's a sense of there's room, okay? So making space or room so that you can receive healing. That's one for someone. The horns here, I think about the moose. So the moose does represent a sense of power and authority, but transformation, I believe, with the moose head here. Feathers, okay, that's significant with divine spirit or messages. Feathers, and then it could be speaking of a certain season of growth also. And then we have repairing the body, mind, and spirit. If we did not say that already, oh my gosh, repairing the body, mind, and spirit is what this card says. Probably don't see it, but that's what it does say. Number 39. Okay, I'm going to put it by the community card, number 49, which is the 11th house. That's Aquarius energy, if I'm not mistaken. And so me talks is pretty self-explanatory, okay? It is taking time to heal, taking time to repair, taking time to look at yourself in the mirror. I'm seeing these bubbles. I'm seeing the transparency, and I'm also seeing things inside the bubbles, right? So there are some things, when I say things, like there's an image of like, okay, you may have thoughts about, like, let's say a boss or a parent or a child. It's like, okay, You need to learn. It will be helpful to when you're in this space of healing, or when you come around this community, to release things that have held you back, or release the idea of like how you would normally interact with these individuals, right? If it was something from the past that was heavy and something new is coming in, you want to be sure that you don't apply the same intensity, force, or even behavior or patterns into this new community or this new situation. Okay, for instance, one pattern could be fear of communication, fear of taking charge or initiating something with others, like fear of losing control, things of that nature. Personally, I realized within my own journey that the idea of dealing with heavy emotions, that was a bit frightening for me, and I would tend to freeze or just avoid. Now I'm learning that I have to sit my ass into that situation, literally just feel what I need to feel in the moment, or else it keeps circling around me or orbiting me. So that's something I've been working through. All right, what else do we need to look at? This teachability is prominent for some reason, and then we have choices and consequences, or feast of plenty, if you can see that. And so, number 20, choices and their consequences with teachability. So, choices from the past, right? That would be significant to put it there. That requires healing. So, when you make a decision, it usually has a consequence, right? And so it could be seen as positive or negative, or it could just be seen as this is just the experience that I'm having at this time. Now, wisdom would say, right, being teachable, wisdom would say to heal that, perhaps choosing something different, choosing something other than, so that you can experience a different outcome. So that's all I'm getting with that for right now. And that's pretty self-explanatory. We can explore it a little further, but we'll leave it for there. That's under the soft note. So perhaps situations from the past that are coming up, and you're having to like revisit and look at the choices and just the mistakes, and okay, having to just make sense of it all, and bring in a sense of acceptance. We have now skywriting the fates, number 49. Now 49 came out already with the 11th house, the community card, and underneath it is repairing the body, mind, and spirit. And so the body, mind, and spirit, I'm getting that we all work together in some capacity to make up the whole. Like everything is joined, it's connected. We have individual, say, attributes to contribute to a situation, but the goal is hopefully oneness, or to complete something, right? And it can't fully be completed unless everyone, like all hands on deck, everyone adds what they're supposed to add to the situation. If individuals hold back and they don't add what is required, that the situation is asking them to add, then it leaves it a bit lopsided, and it leaves an opening, or it leaves room for someone else perhaps to have to overcompensate or to do more in the situation, and that over time can deplete their energy or create frustration in the situation, because that's an imbalance. If there's three and only two is supporting that foundation, then there's another that is not developing the strength that it needs, is not developing the foresight, it's not developing it's maybe creativity or willpower and things of that nature. So we all contribute to the whole pretty much, and this is just perhaps how it's supposed to be. Like this is how things are supposed to work, where things go together in threes. So threes can be significant. 333 for me is one of the first synchronistic signs that I used to get when I first started my journey of awakening or transformation, just coming out of the programming, where this is all that there is. And the 333 was a guidance to let me know that I was heading in the right direction. And so that's just could be a confirmation for someone. 1010 could be a number. So numbers are going to be significant. There is significance in numbers, and also there's strength in numbers. So numbers helps us to bring a sense of like, okay, this is working, this is good. Like if you have multiple people with the same let's say, intention, with the same weight as far as what they're applying to that idea. And it's a collaborative effort. It's a collective goal. You tend to have more success that way versus the individualized approach where everyone is doing their own thing, trying to do the same thing, but individualized. I don't know why I keep saying that word. I had an interaction recently, very brief interaction, and that jumped me to look at just the whole, the being, the body. Yeah, I'm learning about some other things, but I don't think I'm ready to talk about that on this platform yet. So once I get more of that, absorb more of that understanding or that teaching, then I could help the collective with those principles a little better. All right, so the sky writing or the faith. So something is fated, right? Something is destined. This symbol, even, I've been seeing this symbol. You may be familiar with this symbol. That symbol may resonate for you right here. I forget the meaning of that, but it's been coming up. I have to look it up again. I forget the name. I don't know if you're into, is it runes? Maybe you use runes as well. But it looks like there's messages that we're receiving. It's not the obvious, but the situation is actually giving us messages or hints or guidances, right? And we probably are not paying attention to the writing on the wall. Perhaps we need to just pause and take a second look at something for some reason. Something was meant to be, something is supposed to be where it's at. There's nothing that needs to change in a certain situation, or the situation, it was intended to go this way. If you think about choices and their consequences, like this was supposed to happen, right? And it's like you can't change it. It's done. It's written in the stars, and there's no overriding that. This, if you think about Saturn, this was a lesson that was supposed to come into your experience, the transit. This was something that was supposed to orbit you. This was something that you were supposed to encounter. You were supposed to have this exchange for whatever reason. Okay, the goal is that it was supposed to teach you something. Okay, it was supposed to bring healing into an area that perhaps you were closed off of. And so unless you receive this this opening or this encounter, you will not have received what you needed to repair certain aspects of yourself. So it's actually working with you and for you. Okay, it's working with you and for you, whatever that is. Okay, we got that, I believe. All right, let's move on. All right. The only two that really doesn't have anything underneath them is the Alliance card. Or, well, yeah, I could use that, the Faded. Scratch that. So the Alliance just means we have support in the hidden realm is what I'm getting as well. The unseen, we have support in the hidden realm, okay? And this is Dust Devil moving out of stagnation, all right? So this situation that has kept you just in this space, right? Like the caps encapsulated, like it has kept you encapsulated. It's to inspire change or transformation, to move you out of that space. It's to get you out of some type of stagnant energy. Okay, whatever happened, it's to get you out of some stagnant energy. It's to get you to open up to accept a situation or accept a person for what they are, who they are, or accept yourself. Okay, so that's interesting. I'm gonna pull from the Animal Oracle deck and see if we have any additional messages coming through. 2920 could be significant for someone here. 49, 49. So we have mirroring numbers. I mentioned the 55 and the 33 already. Number 6 is out here twice, 15 and 51. Okay, we are talking about soul transformation, right? That didn't take long to confirm. This says butterfly, the soul. And look at, I want you to look at that card for a minute. And I mentioned blue earlier. Blue, okay. And I did mention, as far as the throat chakra, the communication, the expression, right? Expressing your ideas, expressing your thoughts, and the soul expression, how the soul expresses itself in the physical, in the body. So we're talking about the mind, body, soul for sure, okay? We're talking about the things that you focus on in the mental, the things that you envision, okay? And then we're talking about the materialization of these ideas, you know, how it actually comes through in the physical form, which is the body. So that can look like writing something. It could look like having a conversation. It could look like taking actions and doing something, or taking action and doing something. So it's almost like, remember I said the three things working together, or three people or situation working together to support us, a commonality or a common goal. If there's only two aspects working, let's say the mind and the body, and then we're missing, let's say, the spirit of it, it's one of the two are going to be overcompensating. You're going to see more dominance in one of those areas to overcompensate for the other aspect that's not fully operational or contributing to the situation. So take that for what it is. I know there's more to that, actually. There's more to that. Locusts, dragonflies, butterflies, moths, so winged creatures, insects, translucent, transparency, flight, air, okay? And so this is something that perhaps needs to ground, okay? Maybe we're talking about grounding the energy. Maybe the situation that happened in the past, maybe it left someone feeling unsteady, whether it be in the mental, whether it be in the physical, and that would look like some type of illness, whether it be, you know, in your spiritual essence, your ethereal being. I'm not quite sure, but the point is the situation was intended to ground. However, I don't know if you've been able to ground. It feels like something has caused you to feel stagnant instead of perhaps what the intent was for. We have the winged creature coming out. It says observation, peregrine falcon. So falcons could be a sync number 25 or number 7. And we have two cards back to back that has winged creatures on it. So a falcon, and then we have the butterfly. All right, so you could be an air sign, okay, Aquarius specifically, but the others would be Gemini and Libra. Okay, so the falcon, I'm seeing something ancient on this card, right? This image of a person wearing like these Nefertiti headdresses or crowns, right? So I don't know if this is coming from a message from the past, passed on, souls, or connection to ancestry, but it says observation. So there's something that we need to observe in terms of how something is changing or how something is transforming. Perhaps we need to look at how something evolved from the past. How did it come to be this way? How is it that it's like this now? Okay, this is gonna bring in some healing in an area that perhaps has been missed. So there's an oversight. There's something that is not quite on the radar. It's orbiting, but it hasn't fully come into the knowing. Okay, so the knowing, all right. And this is saying happiness and dolphin. So we go from air to water. Okay, Pisces already came out. So something perhaps with a Pisces energy, or something with water, something surrounding your happiness, something that made you happy. This person literally has a pregnant belly, right? So this is a female. She's pregnant on a dolphin. And so this could talk about birthing of something. We mentioned that already, a newborn. We mentioned seeing things from a new lens, right? With the new moon energy, things that are connected to your happiness, right? So that's an emotion. So perhaps you need to look at the things that once made you happy. As a child, for some, the things that brought you joy, perhaps you need to reconnect with those things. The things that will cause you to feel free. And doing this is going to bring in a sense of abundance, okay? It's not going to be limiting. It's going to be creating more fullness in the situation. 42 is on the card. That is number 6. If you bring those two numbers together, and then we have 666 out here already with the 15, the 51, and now 42. So 6 is also a card that ties into some type of shift or transformative energy, and even shifting from something that was not as harmonious or stable into more balance and more ease, perhaps. If you think about the 6 of swords in tarot, here is the card number 5, and it talks about fierceness and being, I guess, vigilant, or being very focused in a specific thing, whatever this thing is. This is talking about maybe intense emotions, right? Intense energies surrounding something. This card, I look at it as more forcefulness, like you putting a lot of effort and energy into something, going after something, or either defending yourself. This person has a shield, a sword that's on fire. The heavens are opening up in the bag. There's just a lot of heat. So you could be dealing with a fire sign, or you could have strong fire placements, or the situation from the past just creates a lot of intense emotions for you to even observe and look at. But this is a contrast from happiness, right, with the water. Look at the contrast of the two, right? We have the water over here, and then we have the fire over here, right? This person is sitting very calm, very stable, very comfortable being in the water, dealing with emotions. And this person, perhaps not so much. This person gets perhaps, or the situation gets very intense. It fuels a lot of intense, fiery emotions for someone here. And clearly there needs to be a balance, or that's what's changing, okay? Something is a bit elusive for someone. It's like it's right in front of you, but you may not be seeing it. You may not be connecting the dots to a situation. And also I'm seeing the jaggedness of what's around. So this environment or situation, right, could be dangerous. Or that's how you perceive. Maybe you perceive that you are in danger, or dealing with these emotions. Remember, I mentioned for me personally, like being afraid to deal with those intense emotions for whatever reason. I don't know if that's where you're at as well, but this person is armed up and in a stance of it's almost like going against, like, whatever makes you happy. So someone here could be going against the natural flow, right? Let's say if something is trying to come into your cycle, your world, your orbit, it's right there. There's something that is a hindrance where it's like this is the space perhaps where you would love to be at, right? And there's some contradicting energies that is around or coming in, okay? And this again could have been something that you've already experienced. This is you in the water, in the room of development, as these external forces are at play, and they're a bit hostile, they're a bit maybe frightening, they're a bit vocal, maybe they're more vocal than you are, okay? I'm just thinking fire, passion, and even intense emotions of anger for some. It's defending something. It's maybe you don't feel as though you have been able to defend something or speak up about something. I'm not quite sure about that, but that's all I'm getting. But we have release, so there's something that you need to release in that situation. Okay, and again, this is intuition, so it's just to help bring guidance to an area that we are not seeing so that we can have more fullness in our experiences, okay? That's the sense of healing, okay? Repairing the body, mind, and spirit. So there could be a disconnect from a community, a disconnect from something that once made you happy, disconnect from a loved one, a partner, and perhaps that was a good thing. I don't know how you're viewing it. Maybe someone is upset about that. Maybe something once made you happy and you're trying to get that back, that sense of happiness or homeostasis. All right, we're talking about Cancer moon, so the home, right? Family, the things or relationships that are very intimate or close to you. All right, beauty is what it says. So beauty, that's interesting. And it's a swan. And then we already saw the bubbles. And so I'm going to pull this card out. The Metox, right? Okay, because they're sinking for me as far as the bubble. So maybe this is something that is significant for you. This person in this tub looks like they have a fin, all right? And so we saw dolphins, right? We saw this card. Okay. Dolphins, right? Sea creatures, so water element for sure is healing for some. Water again, so maybe someone needs to take a cleanse, like in the bath, like what do they call it, like a salt cleanse or some type of cleanse in the water where you put the different flowers or the different herbs or like whatever. I'm just seeing flowers here, okay? I'm getting marigold. Marigold is, I know they're specific for something, but I don't quite know what right this minute. But putting flowers or essential oils, salt, and whatever else you are guided to in the water, some type of mud bath, even mud mask, hydration. So someone needs to hydrate. Hydration is important at this time, especially if you're fasting, if you're cleansing. The water is important to help rehydrate the cells and also to flush out the toxins and the waste, if we're talking about like a detox. Okay, so someone may need to detoxify from a situation that is probably lodged somewhere in the emotional body, the physical body, and it's causing stagnation for someone. So a mental, even a mental detox, if you are listening to stuff that is clogging the airways, and you would know what that would be. All right, we have the will. So someone needs willpower, okay? And I did mention that earlier, right? And it's coming out after I talked about moving out of stagnation. Yeah, you would need the willpower. So it looks like once you do this detoxification, or once you, now detox is not always just with like fasting or with a meal or with like the water, like I just talked about, getting in the water and doing some type of detoxification that way. It could also mean cutting off certain type of thinking patterns or certain type of access to certain, again, social media outlets or platforms, or again, messages, something that you may be receiving. Once you detoxify whatever it is that's causing the stagnation, the point is you will find that you have a bit more zest for life, or you have a bit more courage and strength to go after certain things now. Okay, this is what's healing, and that's the solar plexus. So this could talk about your solar plexus also being activated or cleared or cleansed. Okay, and then this is being done through the practice of groundedness. This is the armadillo, right? This is someone perhaps who feels that they do have to protect themselves from certain elements, right? From the situations. The sun is also supporting this healing energy, FYI. And so perhaps you need to go out into the sun and maybe sit on the ground and maybe just allow that to absorb into your cells, into your skin, into your being. That's also a form of cleansing, okay, with the sun rays, okay. But specifically, a situation that you're moving into, it's going to be very grounded. The connections that you will be, once you clear this, as you move forward, you will have the willpower or the courage or the confidence, to do what you need to do. It's like taking the next step, fire energy again, and then you're going to find that it will bring in a sense of more groundedness. Like you'll feel more supported, you'll feel strengthened, okay? You'll feel strengthened, okay? And you'll naturally have an essence or an air about you that, okay, listen, I'm not the one, right? But I'm not taking this as anything hostile, right? You probably already moved through the energy and probably just healing from something that was a bit uncomfortable or difficult for you to manage. And so you're coming into space now where you're being guided to just ground your energy now, so that as you are interacting with these new situations, you have more stability, you feel more stable, you feel safer, okay? You feel more protected, okay? There's nothing to fear, okay? There's nothing to fear. We have prosperity coming out with the peacock energy, another bird creature of the air. And so something about beautification. The butterfly card, I do read that as something that's transforming, and it's more inviting. It's more like you can handle this better, something that you'll be able to handle better, or you'll be handled better with more, let's say, gentleness, or with more kindness, right? The situation, whatever the situation is, it's showing a sense of success and prosperity, right? Coming into this space, right? Coming into this space. Prosperity. This could be tied to, let's say, if it's a work environment that you're coming out of and moving into something new, it's going to bring in more prosperity. It's going to give you the ability to actually take care of yourself better if you have not been able to. Also, in order to bring in this sense of prosperity and success, it is important for you not to neglect your own well-being and to take care of the basic essentials. As far as self-care is concerned, on the bottom of the deck we have Snow Leopard, the Watcher, number 15, again going to 6. So 6 is definitely speaking to us today for sure. I think that's the 4th time we're getting the frequency of 6. The Snow Leopard speaks about observing, right? We already got the card of observation right here with the falcons, right? So pay attention to something, okay? when you come into this new environment or this new situation, okay, it's important for you to pay attention to how you respond, how you feel, and how situations or interactions make you feel. Okay, don't neglect your gut, your your intuition. All right, observe how the situation is evolving, how it's developing. Observe when individuals contract, or when you feel a sense of contraction in your field. This could be just the natural instinct that your body is giving you to either find out if this is just let's say a response from the past or a behavior from the past that is now programmed in the body, or is there a reason for you to contract and hold back, okay, and be on guard, or be a bit more defensive. But the point is, ground yourself in the energy, observe the changes that's evolving, and don't be so quick, right? Don't be so quick to take action, right? Don't be so quick to force things, okay? Allow time and space to support you in the direction that you need to go in, okay? All right, I think I'm going to end it here for this video, but I'm going to do another one where I can kind of look at this energy a little further, okay? Don't forget to let me know in the comments if this resonates at all, or if you just like spending time with me. I appreciate you. Bye.